on to our favorite movies of 2023. And I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah.
Hit me with your first movie.
I think the first one's pretty obvious.
Uh-oh.
You know, and the reason I'm going to list this first is because it's obvious and it's probably my favorite movie of the year.
Uh-oh.
And that would certainly be Godzilla -1.
Wow.
And it's become a powerhouse at this point for international film and continues to get added on to theaters across the nation, worldwide or whatever.
Dude, it's expanding to other countries
It's
now.
making crazy monies that they did not expect on a below $15 million budget. And
that's wild. We first reported that we heard it was $15 million.
And the director I wish I had that much money.
I wish I would have had that much money.
Yeah.
Wild.
So, and then of course now we just found out as of yesterday it's getting a black and white version of it as well too.
And it looks
promo.
fucking awesome.
It
and
looks
it's not just them
fucking
throwing
amazing.
over a black and white filter. Like they went in and specifically did every scene of monochrome to make sure it looks good.
Yeah.
And the trailer, I was just now that currently all we know is that is going to release in January in Japan. There is nothing yet about it reaching over here. But and maybe that could be one thing that they keep for them. You know how they might do it sometimes.
I'm hoping.
But I was on the digital version.
That's an option on that as well too. So, pretty excited about that one. So that's my big one. That clearly was affected. You know, again, when you see people who weren't even Godzilla fans or movie fans say it's one of their favorite movies this year or just big fans of it. I had a friend of mine called me last night out of nowhere on Facebook Messenger because he got out of the movie and went and saw it and had to talk to somebody right away about seeing that movie. He was blown away by it.
I'm telling you, man, it's one of those things. Like I went into that,
it's a phenom,
expecting Godzilla movie, but from a Japanese version, and I was cool with that. Hey, Josie, thanks for hanging out, buddy. Agree. -1 hit me like Prey last year. I mean, dude, honestly, man, it's just something you don't expect. And when you go and see it and you realize just how well done the story is and how they utilize, Godzilla's not there the entire movie or even half the movie, but when he is there, it is frightening and it's effective. And I'm with you, man. Godzilla -1 is one of my favorite movies of the year. And the fact that I am saying that, it's still just, it's hard to believe. But I mean, like when I look at a movie, man, I think about movies that stick with me long after the credits have rolled, long after I've gone to see it, and I think about this movie often because I'm always wondering when the fuck is this gonna hit digital so I can buy the goddamn thing,
right?
You know, and I mean, we talked about before the show. I mean, Shin Godzilla took like almost a year from when it released to when it hit digital, but you're under the belief that because it's such a phenomenon here,
right,
and worldwide, that Toho would be foolish to kind of like sit on this and wait a year.
I think they would want to get that out as soon as they could.
I would hope so. I am ready to buy this shit. Was Prey that semi-boring Predator movie? I mean, if you thought it was, I thought it was a semi-really good Predator movie.
I had a semi the entire time.
He had a semi the whole time. My first choice is John Wick Chapter 4. It was 3 hours of epic action with some of the best set pieces in the series.
Yeah.
It was an improvement over 3, which I thought 3 was good up until the finale. It was just kind of like, okay. I mean, I get it, Cuddles. You don't like John Wick Chapter 4, and that's cool. I loved it. I thought it was really good. The top-down one shot is fucking incredible.
That 10-minute spread of that like single shot.
Expertly crafted action.
It looked like a video game. It was so like surreal.
Yeah, no, it was really good, man. Like I said, it takes talent to do something like that. I mean, if I'm not saying I've been in a movie, but I've been on stage before, and I understand what it takes to fuck up a scene, and to sit there and fucking continue do a 10-minute shot of no breaking away, nothing whatsoever, and executing it flawlessly. I don't give a fuck, man. That's talent.
I love Donnie Yen, man. Like I just felt like Donnie Yen is good at being simplistic in the things he does and says, and that's why I really like about him. Like, he can be long-winded if he needs to be, have great dialogue, but when he's like the character he played in that, it's there's an extra layer of it that I just loved about that dynamic between the two of them as well too. Now there are some things about that like towards the end I was just like, ooh, it's a little the stare seems a little bit much, but I mean But
I mean,
that's being nitpicky.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, it's a John Wick movie, so you got to suspend disbelief for certain things. And yes, the stairs would fucking kill me. I mean, honestly, the first flight, I mean, I'd be like, okay, I'm done here. There's gonna be a spin-off show too, right? Yes, it's called Ballerina. It's got
I think was she referring to Continental?
There's gonna be a spin-off show too, right? Oh, I mean, Continental, yes, that is already out. I think that's on Peacock. And then there is a spin-off movie called Ballerina. What's her name? She was Marilyn Monroe on that Netflix movie. Ana de Armas. De Armas.
Yeah.
She plays one of the ballerinas. I think is working in the stage with Angelica Houston in John Wick 3. But we do know that Keanu Reeves will be making an appearance in Ballerina. And we do know now that John Wick 5 has been greenlit and they are going to make a 5th movie. Because the way the John Wick 4 ends,
it's subjective.
It's different ways to interpret it. And because it made a boatload of fucking money, they were like, we're just not going to not make one. So, yeah, Jeff. I mean, honestly, if you look, remember, Jeff, here's the thing. What movie was she in where she seduced Keanu Reeves?
I think he's talking about Christopher Reeves.
Okay. I don't know what you meant by that, but okay. I have to watch 4 still. 4 is fucking awesome. 4 is really good. But Jeff, we did not.
Knock knock.
Knock knock. Who's there?
I don't know. Is that the movie?
Oh, Knock Knock. Yes, that's the one where he's at home alone and like 2 chicks show up, right? Is that what it is? There's 2 women that show up and they like rob. I do remember that movie. I never saw it, but I think I remember that movie. Yeah, I didn't see it, but I remember when that came out. I was like,
that was a joke.
Now that she mentioned Knock Knock, it hit me. I was like, yes, I do remember there's a movie where he's at home and some chicks show up at his house, but I never did end up seeing that. But yeah, so John Wick 4, one of my favorite movies of the year.
Yeah. Let's see. So next up, I think we're gonna be another crisscross for us as well too. Evil Dead Rise definitely is one of my favorite movies this year. It's one of my all-time favorite horror franchises. I love, everything about him, from Bruce Campbell, to the set piece, the Ash versus Evil Dead TV series, everything as well too. And I was definitely weary on the 2013 movie as well too, which I finally did watch earlier this year, and actually was like, okay, it's a good homage. It's a good remake. They did a great job with it. But then this being something kind of almost parallel to it, we don't really know yet how it fits. There's ways they've linked it, and they're they kind of dance around a little bit. But Evil Dead Rise, for all intents and purposes, for a horror film, gory, absolutely terrifying, was done perfect. Like that.
They didn't have to rely on jump scares. It was just tension. Not.
It was just such a good fucking movie, and I fucking love every minute of seeing that. And the actresses and the actors, everybody involved, were just so, you could tell they were all in.
Mm-hmm. Great performances, especially the girl who plays the Deadite.
Dude, I'm telling you,
incredible.
Just incredibly great. So yeah, big fan of that. That's definitely gonna be a standout for me for sure.
I think I might like the 2003 just slightly more than this one. I actually did go back and watch that one just recently, and the 2013 Evil Dead movie is really good. Like, it's a faithful adaptation of it. It's really good. I just like this one a lot better because of the performance by the Deadite, by the girl who played it. Her name escapes me. I forgot about it. And I thought it was just a well done, claustrophobic. I mean, yeah, you're in a cabin in the original, and that's claustrophobic. But the way that they make this derelict apartment building very claustrophobic as well, and gory, and just a fucking awesome movie. I was blown away by this movie. I thought this was just an incredible addition, and the fact that we do know that there is some connection to, I guess, is it the third Evil Dead movie? What's it called?
Are you talking about Army of Darkness?
Yeah, Army of Darkness. There is a mention of 3 books.
Yeah.
And that's where they're kind of like, the director is kind of like leaning into that a little bit with this one.
Yeah, because they talk about the 3 in Necronomicon. When he gets up to the altar in the cemetery, whatever, he's got to choose.
So that's really interesting how they kind of looked at that. And then obviously the Bruce Campbell cameo, if you will, is fucking sweet too. Very just a great movie, and still one of the best opening title shots I've ever seen in a fucking movie. When the girl is rising out of the water and it just says "Evil Dead Rise" in the background. That was an incredible title card, and I was a huge fan of that. So
Evil Dead, yeah.
Awesome flick. Tone, what else you got?
So the other one that I've got listed up here, as I keep opening my phone, is actually, this is kind of a random one. Not a lot of people seen, and I know not everybody's fan of it, but I actually really enjoyed The Creator. I thought that was a great film.
Yes.
I love a good, like, I feel like overall the story wasn't anything like necessarily like, I don't want to say it's not that it's original, but like it's just a really good, well-written, like, characters here, character goes from here. There's a little bit of this. Visually, it's fucking gorgeous.
I heard it's a gorgeous fucking movie.
I love Gareth Edwards as well, too. Like,
he's a visual style director.
He just it's a very heartfelt movie with a lot with some tension at times as well, too. It didn't hit everybody's mark, I feel like, but for me it was like that's the kind of movie that I want somebody like Gareth Edwards to do. I don't think anybody could have done what they had on his hands as well as Gareth could have. So I really enjoyed that film.
No Meg 2. I actually have not seen that. I liked the first Meg. I thought it was pretty entertaining. But I just didn't think it was a movie that required a sequel. And I had heard from I can't remember who it was. Somebody told me it was just fucking terrible, and I was like, I'll just wait for this to drop on a streaming service before I even invest any time into that whatsoever. And you had one other movie, didn't you?
I have a couple actually. So
lay them on me. Let's go.
Well, I had one other in my top 5, which was actually Dungeons and Dragons,
which is criminally underrated.
Right. I've watched that movie. Of all the movies that came out this year, I've probably watched that one the most. And
it's so good.
I've rewatched it.
It's way better than I thought it was going to be. I remember going into it, we were a little concerned.
Everybody.
Remember? We were like, is it going to be just dumb? Are they going to make fun of it? Or are they going to embrace it?
And it ended up being really, really well. I mean, even the levity that it had in it wasn't like overbearing.
Right.
And
it just felt right.
Right. And in D&D, that some of that levity is great for it, some of that little dark humor too. But
that's been out for I think a week or two on Digital Cuddles. It's out now.
I'm actually, the only reason I haven't seen that is because even in theaters and even now, I'm waiting for the extended version of it.
The 4-hour Apple
for
TV
the Apple
Plus
TV
version.
4-hour version. So that's why that's on the list, and I decided I don't want, because I couldn't make it to the theater when it came out at that time, so I think it was around Thanksgiving. There's a lot going on. I wanted to wait for, at that point, I'm like, you know what? I should just wait for the full edition. So
there are 2 movies that actually dropped this week that I really want to watch, and that's Thanksgiving. That's on digital, and Silent Night.
I've seen Thanksgiving.
Silent Night came out, and that's the John Woo directed Christmas movie. So
I'm excited about that.
What is Snyder movie coming out? Rebel Moon, which is really kind of one of those movies that I want to see now, simply because it panned with critics. Critics hated it, but the viewer score, I think, is at like a 70% on Rotten. It's like 29% critics on Rotten Tomatoes and like 70%.
It's very Snyder release.
That's what you kind of expect from Snyder. So for whatever, critics just don't resonate with Snyder. Where viewers really appreciate his style.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. I just don't know what to expect, and I'm going to try and be as open-minded as I can. So
Silent Night was not great in my opinion. No, I've actually heard some people say it, which is bizarre because it is a John Woo film, and I love John Woo's style. But and I believe I'm trying to remember the actor's name, the lead. He was in that Nick Cage movie, The Devil. Oh gosh, I watched it. Did you watch it? Did you watch it too? The Nick Cage one, the Devil one?
No.
It was a decent flick, but it wasn't great. But no, I heard that about Silent Night. I wanted to give it a try because I love John Woo, and I do think the actor that I can't remember the actor's name in that movie in Silent Night. I think he's a decent actor as well. So it's something I'm curious about. But Thanksgiving is the one, and like over the holidays, I'm gonna watch Thanksgiving. I'm gonna watch that and A Wonderful Knife. Even though I know you're kind of a little indifferent on that when you weren't too blown away by it.
Thanksgiving's amazing.
Thanksgiving's amazing. Okay.
Thanksgiving's amazing. So
Charles Kinnaman, yes, Kinnaman. Yeah, that's Joel Kinnaman.
And I do have a runner-up for this year, which is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
It's a great movie for sure, but it just didn't hit my top 5. So, great film. Good year for movies though as well too. There's a lot of good stuff and a lot of different things for your palate to enjoy. So
2024, anything you're particularly excited about?
It's very cliche of me to say it, but definitely Deadpool is like huge on my excitement.
I'm actually with you on that. It's either that or Dune 2.
Dune 2, excuse me. Yeah,
Dune 2 I'm really excited about, but
Dune
Deadpool
2,
3 is huge.
Very
Mortal Kombat 2
excited.
Will
about. Not be watching that. But yes, Dune 2, super hyped to see that on the big screen as well too. I like that the first one was released on HBO. I could watch it in my home, but I need to see, now that I love that first one, I need to see that on the big screen. Maybe even IMAX for that. That might be
going IMAX.
That might be an IMAX one.
All right,
honestly.
man. I
Gotta
can get
be
down.